Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday. We are getting ever closer to Arsenal returning to action, taking on Brentford on Saturday at the Emirates. A week ago today was that win against Wolves. That was Arsenal's last match. Sat out the weekend, and they are certainly desperate to get back to action this weekend with what is going to be a big game against Brentford. Sitting, I think, 6th at the moment. Man United have moved ahead of them with that win in midweek at home to Brighton in the Premier League, but Arsenal, of course, have all these games in hand. They're going to need to win them, but they do have these games in hand, so technically the top four is in their hands at the moment. Whether it stays that way, we will wait and see. But every game's so crucial now. Like Arteta said in the build-up to the Wolves game, his team had 17 cup finals remaining this season. 1 down, 16 to go. Can they back up that really good win at Wolves with a much-needed home win against Brentford? So strong at home this season, Arsenal, but they have failed to win in the last 2 games in the Premier League at the Emirates. 3 games in all competitions if you include the Liverpool Carabao Cup semi-final. Obviously with the defeat against Man City on New Year's Day, and then that disappointing draw just before the last break, wasn't it? That 0-0 draw with Burnley when they just couldn't find a way through. So they need to get back to winning ways at the Emirates. And really big game coming up. So I'll look ahead to that one today. Look at possibly the team selection, that sort of thing. Who might be coming back, who's out. We will be speaking to Mikel tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 p.m. That press conference is at London Colney as usual once the media are allowed back. I was due to be going, but unfortunately it's just a little bit late for me. 1:30 p.m. I couldn't guarantee to get back to pick my kids up from school, so I had to give it a miss. But I will be watching it on the Zoom rather than at the training ground, and so I'll still be doing live updates so you can keep a track on everything that is said. Should find out a little bit more about the latest team news from Mikel, certainly about Tomiyasu's fitness. Which will be interesting. I think Tomiyasu is really only the big question mark, you would say, heading into that game. I'm not sure there's going to be too many other surprises when it comes to the team selection. Arsenal don't play again until the following Thursday night when they host Wolves at the Emirates. So you think Mikel certainly doesn't need to worry about keeping players fresh or anything anything like that. Far from it. Arsenal barely played in a long time, so it will be the strongest team selection possible, and really only that it means that Tomiyasu might be the one sort of question mark at the moment. But in terms of who starts, I mean, obviously I mentioned Tomiyasu there. You think if Tomiyasu's fit and he gets the green light from the medical staff, then Arteta will probably go with him, but it depends if he's fit or not. We've seen the videos, we've seen the pictures from training this week. He hasn't been training yet with the group, or we don't know he has. Maybe he did yesterday. Nothing's emerged from that yet. If he hasn't been training with the group, you imagine it might be a little bit early to put him straight into starting 11 on Saturday. He might well be on the bench, but starting 11 perhaps not. So we'll wait and see on that one. If he's not, you just think Cedric's just going to start again as he did against Wolves. I mean, fair play to Cedric. As I said, fair few times he had a really good game against Wolves. It's been a difficult season for Cedric. Performance has definitely been disappointing. He's just not been on it really when he's played, but I thought he played very well in that Wolves game. So if Tomiyasu doesn't make it, you think Cedric's certainly going to line up on the right hand side of the back four. And then the question is, who comes in for Martinelli? I don't think it's that hard a question, though, is it? It's just going to be Emile Smith Rowe dropping back in on the left-hand side of the attack, unless there are any issues. Smith Rowe did limp off against Wolves last week, but I saw him come out after the game when all the fans had left the stadium, and he was doing a very sort of intense warm-down with the fitness coach, so it didn't look like there was any sort of issue there. So I can't imagine he's going to be in any sort of trouble when it comes to Saturday's game. So it's a very easy swap, really. You do have the option of possibly playing Nicolas Pepe over there. He has played on the left. We know that before, but I can't see it happening, really. Can you? I think it will certainly be Emile Smith Rowe. So you'd imagine looking at the starting lineup, it'll be Leno. It'll be Ramsdale in goal. Either Cedric or Tomiyasu at right back. Then it'll just be White, Gabriel, Tierney, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe and Lacazette. I'd be very surprised if the starting 11 is really any different to that. In terms of Smith Rowe, I think it's a big game for Smith Rowe, isn't it? He's had to really bide his time now because of the form of Martinelli. And you think, look at Smith Rowe, he's still Arsenal's top goal scorer, 8 goals I think in all competitions this season. Started the season so well, was the driving force behind a lot of the victories that Arsenal had, scoring the goals, even when he came off the bench he would score. He's just had to bide his time a little bit, be a bit patient, which is what you're going to have to do when you're a young player. And it's what Mikel wants from his squad, isn't it? He wants competition in all places. And if one person's out, like Smith Rowe was, Martinelli came in and he seized his opportunity. He played really well. Player of the month for December, player of the month for January. So it was very hard to leave him out. Now Smith Rowe's going to come back in the team, and it's down to Smith Rowe to make sure that Martinelli doesn't come straight back in after that suspension ends. And it is only a one-game suspension, of course, that Martinelli has after that sending off at Wolves because it was 2 yellow cards. So for Smith Rowe, it's a really, really, really big game on Saturday. He wants to be in the team, no doubt about it. He doesn't want to be starting on the bench every other week. So and he's got an opportunity now to really seize his place and get himself back into the team and make himself undroppable, which is what basically Martinelli has done with his form over the last couple of months. And I'm looking forward to it. I think Smith Rowe, he's energised. I think given he's been on the bench so much, he's going to be fully fit. He's going to be raring to go, and he's going to want to prove a point. He's going to want to prove to Mikel, look, don't drop me this time. I'm here to stay. And so it'll be really interesting to see just how well Smith Rowe plays. I think I've got a feeling Smith Rowe is going to have a very important game on Saturday, I have to admit. And that forward line, it's going to be good to see Saka and Smith Rowe back in tandem again. Really feel like this is the big game for Alexandre Lacazette on Saturday. He missed some big chances against Wolves, especially that one that would have made it 2-0 just after the second half. He came out on social media afterwards. He apologised. We didn't apologise, but he said he knew he should be scoring that chance. I still think, and I said this in the video after the game, I think, he should have scored, no doubt about it. I'm not absolving him from any blame. But it was actually the goalkeeper who did narrow the angle very well. It would have taken a very good finish. The way he finished it, he tried to finish it. It would have taken a very good finish to whip it in that quickly because the keeper came down and narrowed the angle very well. I think personally his best opportunity to score was maybe trying to take it round the keeper. Could have maybe knocked it to the left of him and tried it that way. Or he could have just gone for the through the legs shot, which we see time and time again strikers do, and they get a lot of joy out of that when the keeper comes out and narrows the angle. They're expecting the type of shot that Lacazette ended up going with, but you just slip it through the legs instead. And I think when you look at the pictures and the video of it, if he had gone through the legs, I think he probably would have scored, because Jose saw the way the stance he took up just before Lacazette's shot. It was kind of begging to be for the shot to be put through the legs. So I think it's a big game for Lacazette. He'll know that the focus is on him. He knows that everyone is looking at his goal record this season thinking he's not quite scored enough. He knows that he is the main striker, basically the only striker, senior striker left in the team and in the squad after Aubameyang's exit. So he's going to have to step up and really make his mark. He's captain. Yes, he's out of contract in the summer. I don't think that really bothers Lacazette. I think he'll be very, very professional between now and the end of the season. And he'll want to score the goals that get Arsenal back into the Champions League. So this is a big one for him. I really think that, because his confidence will be a little bit low. I thought it was interesting when he came off against Wolves when he got substituted. I think it was for Nketiah, wasn't it, towards the end? Arteta immediately sort of slung his arms around him, made sure he knew that he wasn't disappointed in him in anything like that. And it looked like a sort of an attempt to just keep his confidence up. And the two of them have a good relationship, and I think that Arteta will be really important to keeping Lacazette motivated between now and the Brentford game, or certainly in the build-up to the Brentford game, and keep his confidence levels up, because I think Arteta knows that although Lacazette is so important with the way he plays and the way he brings players in, he needs to score a few goals. You can't go between now and the end of the season without your central striker scoring a few. So you want Lacazette to score goals, and when he gets opportunities like he did against Wolves, he's going to need to take them. I thought there were some interesting comments from Martin Odegaard on the Arsenal website yesterday. Went live as an interview of Odegaard, and I've seen a lot of people responding to it and saying, "Oh, this proves he's a captain in the making, Martin Odegaard." And a lot of people have tipped Martin Odegaard to potentially be Arsenal's next captain. He's obviously captain of his country, captain of Norway, despite only being 23 or 24, whatever he is now. So he's got experience at the very highest level of being a captain. He's got some big players. Well, he's got Erling Haaland in that team, so he has to manage some big players as a captain, and he's very, very popular with this Norwegian national team. Apparently they like his captaincy, and he was talking about Arsenal and the squad that he's involved with now is what he had to say. So I think we're a very interesting group, a lot of young players, a lot of hungry players. I feel like we're building something special here with the players and staff. It's really interesting what we're trying to do, and I'm happy with the situation, very happy to be part of the team. Hopefully we can keep improving and get better each game, then we'll see where it takes us. It helps me to be around around players in the same situation, in terms of his age, he means. I've been through a lot, even though I'm pretty young in this team. I'm not the youngest anymore, and I have some experience, and I can use that in a positive way and help the young players. Then he goes on, we're a great group, we have a lot of young talents and some more experienced players. I think the mix is good in the team, very hungry. It's nice to be part of this team. People are looking at those quotes and saying, oh no, is that captain material there, saying he's already helping the young players? I think possibly it is. I have to admit, for me, if I was choosing the next Arsenal captain, it wouldn't be Martin Odegaard. I think there's a few options in there, and it's a big call that Mikel's going to have to make in the summer, because obviously Lacazette, barring a massive late turnaround or U-turn, he's going to be off, and the captaincy is up for grabs. I mean, normally it would just go to Granit Xhaka. You think he is the ideal candidate, really, just because unless he leaves in the summer, he's going to play most games. He's very experienced. The squad love him. Arteta loves him, but let's face it, it can't be Granit Xhaka because of what's gone on before. Last time he was captain, it's just no. You can't give the captain's armband to Granit Xhaka. It'd be just a monumental error by Mikel Arteta. So that rules Granit Xhaka out. But then you've got Thomas Partey, he's an experienced senior player. Not for me, not a captain. Kieran Tierney, Ben White, potentially. I'm not sure about Ben White. I have to say that it doesn't really tick the boxes for me. Kieran Tierney and Gabriel. Now, Gabriel's a really interesting one for me. I think Gabriel is absolutely captain material for me, but a lot of it depends on how good his English is. And we haven't, because of the COVID and everything like that, we don't. Before, we'd be in the mixed zone, we'd talk to the players as they come out, interview a few players. And we haven't had the chance to do that for like 2.5 years because of COVID. We're not allowed down there to do the mixed zone anymore. So I'm not sure what Gabriel's English is like. We're told that it's much, much better and it's improving. He's speaking well and communicating well with Ben White, for example, in that centre-back partnership. But I think it's important. If you're going to be captain of Arsenal, you need to be able to be fluent in the language and communicate very, very well. And I'm just not sure yet if he is. But if he is, I think Gabriel could be a really good choice for a captain for me. I don't think he's going to go anywhere anytime soon. He's playing in the perfect position for it. I think he's got a lot of traits to be a captain. He's rash. He is rash. He needs to sort that out. He's naive. He dives in at times, puts himself in some dodgy situations. He needs to cut that out of his game. But I still think he's a decent captain. And then there's Kieran Tierney, again, who I'd have no issue being captain for me. Tierney, I don't think he's had the best season form-wise, Kieran Tierney. I think he's struggled a little bit. A lot of players have after the Euros. And he sort of struggled with his fitness early on as well, and I still think he's coming back, trying to get to his best levels of fitness. But I think there's no doubt he's captain material as well, just because if he's fit, he's going to play every game. He's got that mentality. He's got the drive. You can see how motivated he is. He's captained Scotland before. He was captain of Celtic when he was very, very young, so he's done it before. So I would say for me, if people are tipping Odegaard, just not sure, but I would have Gabriel and I'd have Kieran Tierney ahead in the pecking order when it comes to potential Arsenal captains. Let me know what you think. Who should be the next Arsenal captain? Does Arteta sign one in the summer, or does he appoint one who is already in the squad? If so, who should it be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Just before I go, a little bit more about the Emirates rebuild. I spoke about it briefly yesterday on the video. It sort of emerged during the fans forum with Vinay Venkatesham, the CEO, talking about Arsenal's plans to revamp the Emirates during the summer, or certainly start to revamp the Emirates during the summer. Going to be spending multi-million pounds on this. Going to be installing basically fixing the roof. It's going to be a 40-week job, so it's going to go on for virtually a full year. Going to cost an awful lot of money to do that. I don't think they're changing the roof structurally, really, or anything like that. I think they're just upgrading it, keeping it the same sort of style that it already is. Like, people have asked, are they going to put on a retractable roof? No, they're not. It's just going to be kind of similar to the way it is, but just strengthen it all up and sort it out, because it does leak now. During the COVID times, when there's no one in the stadium, in the press box, we were sitting all over the place rather than just confined to the press box. We were sitting in the seats and stuff like that because we had to be spaced out. Some of the times you get absolutely drenched if it rained. You never notice it in a press box because you're properly undercover, but when you're just under the roof, you did notice that it leaks. So they need to sort that out. The jumbotrons are going to be replaced. That's going to be good. It's going to be really updated, brand new modern tech there, which I think is going to be decent. The big interesting thing is going to be what happens outside the ground. I think this sort of wraparound, as I said yesterday, they're getting rid of the legends pictures that adorn the walls around the stadium, which I do think is a bit of a shame because I really like them. I think it makes it stands out. It's quite original, but they will be incorporated somewhat into the new design. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Is there going to be massive sort of digital screens that can change what's on there all the time? You think there's something like that's probably going to be involved, because for Arsenal you could get advertising on there, so it's a source of revenue, you would imagine. But it will look pretty slick, I imagine, with a lot of, you can have videos being played, goals being played, you can have whatever legends you want on the screen. That it does open up a lot of possibilities for something pretty cool. So this is going to be a multi-million-pound commitment that Arsenal are going to make, and it's one they need because the stadium desperately needs a facelift. There's no doubt about it. It looks tired, certainly very weathered. It needs more than just a lick of paint. So it's great to see that Arsenal are committing to this, and they will be getting it done. It's going to be very interesting to see the exact plans of what is going to happen. Some of the fans will be consulted on it. Part of various fan groups who the club are in contact with will be consulted on what could be put outside and inside the stadium. All right, everyone, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. As always, do enjoy your Thursday. Like I said, Mikel Arteta's press conference coming up tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And before that, any Arsenal news happens, keep your eyes on my social media channels and on goal.com. We'll bring you it as it happens. Have a great day, everyone. Speak to you soon.